areas where you're like, God, why haven't I been able to overcome this thing? Or you haven't also been able to leave this friend alone. You also haven't been able to stop thinking about that thing. You also have not been able to stop going to that place. There's areas in your life that you were struggling in because you have failed to detach. It's your little big sis CJ Renee, and we're back with another episode. Y'all, I am so happy about 31 and thriving. We are actually doing what our title is. We are thriving. We are thriving. Yes. I'm so happy for all those who have been coming on, who have been subscribing, who has been sharing these videos, who have been watching, who have been learning, growing, and developing themselves, and finding out what areas they need healing in, and asking God to help them to come in and touch those areas in their lives. Because look, let me tell y'all something. Healing is not for the weak, and it's not for the faint of heart. If you cannot do this with a friend or with a therapist, call on God. And even with a friend and with a therapist, you need to call on God, because your friend and your therapist is not going to be there in the wee hours of the night when you thinking about that thing and it's eating you up, right? So make sure you involve God in your healing process, because it is exactly what you need to move forward, to be better, to get better each and every day, and then develop a way to thrive in your life based on the things that you've been through. Because believe it or not, those things are your strength. Those things give you the power that you need to succeed in the areas of life that God has called you to. I'm a chill. I'm not here to preach. I'm just here to talk to y'all a little bit. All right. So we're going to stay on the same topics of dealing with Darius Daniels' Thrive platforms conversation that he was having with one of his pastor's friends. And they touched on the topic of the devil loving your inability to detach. I'm pretty sure they said it a different way, but I'm paraphrasing. I'm going based off memory here. The devil loving you having the inability to detach. And the funny thing is, it's more than usual with a majority of the people in this world. Not just my viewers, but just people in the world, period. We're having a hard time letting people go, letting things go, letting bad habits go, letting jobs go that we know no longer serve us, right? But we hold on to these things because it's like we don't go to God in these areas because we think we can handle it. Going back to 2 episodes ago when I was saying, like, we really be fooling ourselves. We tell ourselves things that we believe is the truth, but we really just playing the heck out of ourselves, believing that, we can and we will, and God, we don't need God to be in those areas because we can handle it. When really, we cannot handle it, because there's a friend in your life you should have let go a long time ago. They no longer serve you. Y'all know y'all ain't up to no good. Every time y'all together, y'all know. I had one of those friends. I get it. I know. Every time you up with that girl, you up with that guy, y'all ain't up to no good. Y'all out here being mischievous. Okay? He telling you to do things that you know you're not supposed to do, but you know what? It's fun. It's going to be a good time tonight. We're going to be lit tonight, right? Hey, I get it. We've all been there, right? Or you may have this inner turmoil in these areas of your life where you're like, I'm fine, I'm good, but you really hate your father, or you really hate your mother, or you really hate your sister, your brother, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle, your grandmother, your grandfather, whomever it is. They did you dirty when they did you dirty, but you still holding on to it, and it's been 30-something years later, and you're still beefing. My God. I mean, we all got these situations. Don't think that you're special because you're the only one going through it. You're not. The Bible says there's nothing new under the sun, honey, and I'm telling you there isn't. Okay? We've all gone through these situations, but when do we develop the strength to say, God, I cannot handle these areas on my own. I need you to step in, God. I need you to help me to detach myself from these things. Not so that I can have no feelings for them, but so that I can see the importance of the detachment, right? So what do you mean by that, CJ Renee? I mean, when you detaching yourself from a thing, from a person, from a place, from an area, you get to stand back and look at the situation, look at the person, look at the place, look at the thing as a third party point of view. And you get to see how without you, these things can grow. How without you, you will be able to grow, because you'll see that these things were holding you back. I remember this one time I was in this relationship with this guy, and oh my gosh, you couldn't tell me this man wasn't walking on water. You couldn't tell me he wasn't floating on air. You couldn't tell me. He was like God's gift to the earth for me, and he could do no wrong. The moment I decided to really step back and detach my feelings from the relationship and just see him for who he was, is the moment I started realizing he was a liar. That man probably been lying to me the whole relationship, but I just truly believed everything he said, because he could do no wrong. There was nothing that man could do that was wrong to me. Even people was like warning me, like, there's something a little fishy about him, and I'm like, there's nothing fishy about him. Like, yeah, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? We all got that thing, right? But the moment I detached myself from the situation, from the relationship, and from being so head over heels, is the moment I was able to see with my own eyes, this man lied to me. Like physically, I saw what he did. He ain't see me. I seen him though. I saw what he did, and then I called him up, and I'm talking to him on the phone. I'm like, hey, I saw you did da da da. Nah, that wasn't me. If my eyes get I'm sorry, you said what? That was not you? The lies. Oh my gosh. And it was like, how many times are you gonna lie to me? How many times have you lied to me? How many times have we talked about these stuff? And you just bold-faced lied to me? It's ridiculous. And it took me detaching from it to see it for what it really was. So there's some situations in your life that you may have to take a step back from. See it for what it was. Don't only look at it from your point of view, or from your hurt, from your pain, or even from your happiness, because relationships, like friendships and things like that, most of those things are driven by love and happiness and good memories. And you're like, nah, this is my road dog. I know if I ever need somebody to come through for me, this person's gonna come through for me, right? But are they also straying you away from God? Are they keeping you in this cycle of unforgiveness and brokenness and always being sad and always feeling bad about yourself, and always, like, because people do that. Spirits travel. Spirits connect through people and touch and places and things and experiences. And the more you allow yourself to be open and vulnerable to these things that you need to detach from, is the more that the devil is able to attack you in these areas where you're like, God, why haven't I been able to overcome this thing? Well, you haven't also been able to leave this friend alone. You also haven't been able to stop thinking about that thing. You also have not been able to stop going to that place. There's areas in your life that you were struggling in because you have failed to detach. You have failed to detach. I don't know what that thing is for you, but I know what that thing was for me. And for me, I told y'all about 3 episodes ago that I was struggling in an area with a person I really wanted to build a relationship with, because I always could think about the past and what they did to me before. And when they was doing things to me today that was affecting me, I couldn't see past what they were doing, because it's like, look, you are supposed to be a better person. You're supposed to be teaching me. You're supposed to help me, and you're doing all these things. And I remember when you used to do these things before, and now it's all like, I have a shadow in front of the person of who was supposed to be in front of me, and how I'm supposed to be seeing them, because I'm holding on to all the things that I should have detached from years ago. The moment I said, God, please help me. And I will never forget it. I was up late at night, up all night. And I said, God, please help me to forgive. Help me, God. Help me to detach myself from these feelings, so that I'll be able to see the person for who they are and for what they're doing for me in my life, and be able to build the relationship I want to build with them. God, please help me to detach from these feelings. The moment I asked that. The next day, I'm asking God again, and I'm starting to feel my strength coming. And I was able to have a conversation with this person. I was able to air out things, be very vulnerable, and the person was willing to receive it. Because not only did God step in for me, but He also stepped in for that individual, so that that individual can be open to an understanding and have an open ear and an open heart to receive what I had to say. I don't know what it is for y'all today. I don't know what it is for you today. I don't know who it is for you today, where it is for you today. But God is telling me to tell you to make sure you're detaching from these things so that God can work on you the way you need to be worked on. I'm your little big sis, CJ Renee, and I love y'all. To ensure you don't miss an episode of 31 and Thriving, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to share. It's y'all little big sis, CJ Renee.